Good morning, YouTube. I'm Joe. You're watching my channel, Ink&Iron, and today I will be finishing up the restoration of this multi-tool right here. This is a Victorinox Swiss Army knife, and it is the Explorer. It just needs some buffing and some sharpening. I think you can see on this blade it has some scuffing on there, so we'll buff everything, get it looking real nice, and then we'll throw on some genuine Victorinox scales. These are made of Celador, and they are transparent, and I think this is going to look really nice when it's all done. So these are also the plus scales, so I have a bunch of tools to go with that. I may throw on some EDCI just to make sure everything stays rust resistant and relatively smudge free. And then it's off to the races. I think this will be my next, my sort of replacement for size comparisons when I'm doing knife videos. So anyway, let's get to it. Okay, let's take a look at these blades. They're looking pretty good. Still some scratches on there, but I can live with that. Use the black compound and buffing wheel and then the red compound and buffing wheel. And they are light enough that I don't really mind. Plus they are basically mirror polished, so that's what I was going for. I don't mind some scratches, especially on a tool I'm going to use. Okay, so now the plan, I'm going to sharpen the blades. So both blades need sharpening, as well as these scissors. And let me show you why. Listen to the Swiss Champ. Super quiet. Now listen to the Explorer. I think you can hear the difference there. These definitely have some dull spots on there. You see the light catching the very edge. You can see it right there. The dull spots. I believe that's why they sound so loud compared to the Swiss Champ scissors. And then I think I'd like to do this reaming tool as well, because as you can see, a couple of dull spots on here. So I'll just hit this back bevel on a stone. Okay, I need to voice this part over. This is a whole bunch of sharpening at high speed. So begin with the large blade on the medium grit ceramic Spyderco bench stone. And then do the other side. And I stropped a little bit to test the cutting performance off of that medium stone. Once it was cutting, I moved to the fine. And you'll see me stropping again because I don't go above the Spyderco fine ceramic stone. I find it sufficient for these knives. Now we move on to the reaming tool. I started on the medium ceramic stone, but found it easier to take the Surge diamond file and the ceramic double stuff stone from Spyderco to the back bevel of this reaming tool. Then I switched to the scissors using the same method, starting with the diamond file from the Surge and moving on to the Spyderco double stuff stone, which has a brown medium grit side and then a white fine grit side, and that was more than enough to bring a very good level of sharpness back. And then my very last trick was stropping the scissors, although I don't think it accomplished anything. Alright, got our scissors cleaned up, and I'll probably lube the little groove where the scissor spring sits, as well as the pivot, because it's kind of loud. It cuts a lot better though. Yeah, but it's not springing open, as you can see. It's very tight, so need some lubrication, I think. Probably a good flush between here would be best. And our blades are now sharpened. They both cut well. This one's the better cutter of the two, although right here on the belly of the large blade is now very, very sharp, actually shaving sharp. And then I did fix the reamer. It's looking pretty good. Don't really have any rolls or dents anymore, so yeah, should work fine. I don't plan on using it on anything worse than like copper pipe, so should serve. And I think the last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some black buffing compound on the Dremel and just hit these scales one more time. Let's get a quick comparison. So here's the side that I buffed. Here's the other side, much duller. So yeah, I'm gonna spend a few minutes taking some more black compound to these. I'm going to try and go easy around these pivot or rivet points rather, because I need to preserve this little lip that you see on there. That little lip is what holds these scales on. So yeah, I'm just going to be careful when I'm doing that. I'll probably try and keep it vertical rather than getting in here like this with the buffing compound and possibly compromising that lip. So yeah, this is the steepest angle I'm going to take as I'm cleaning this stuff up. Okay, I think I'm happy with where we ended up. It's nice and shiny. There are some things I won't be able to get out, like this is some literal like pitting, it looks like. So I'm just gonna leave that there. Not gonna worry too much about it. This is going under scales. And for the most part it looks really good, so I'm gonna clean it up with rubbing alcohol. And yeah, that'll pretty much do it. Put our new scales on, and then we're done. Every time I clean with isopropyl alcohol now, I make sure that I take the magnifying glass out and keep it clear from any of the ISO, lest it get fogged over again. Okay, so let's put some EDCI on here, just for good measure, because I'm not going to be able to access the undersides of these scales for a long time. And Jim Skelton actually recommended that I use microfiber towel, so that's what I'm gonna do. Apply liberally. I'm gonna rub it in with this Q-tip. So that is much easier than my finger in this case. And really my goal is just to get the underside of this scale. Any other parts that I get are just because I have the EDCI on there. And I just cleaned this all with isopropyl alcohol, so not too worried about it being clean. Ooh, I need to clean off my desk pad apparently. Yep, rub it in there with the microfiber. Okay, and I'm wearing gloves just because I'm about to put on the scales. I want to make sure nothing gunky leaves my hands and gets on this tool. Rub it in, always rub it in. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to put a little on this magnifying glass because why not? Feel like it. Alright, getting all these rivets. Making sure I get the undersides of them. Okay. Alright, I think that's that. So let's get our new scales and pop them on here. So I just noticed a little bit of flashing on the edge of these scales. So we're just going to time lapse. I'm going to take probably the reamer from this guy and just gently graze the edges to remove that very fine plastic on the edge just because it's there and I can access it now. There you can see it right here. I can access it now and I won't be able to access it later, so might as well. So this high speed, you can see me using that reaming tool and pulling it towards me, and all that's doing is knocking down the little fluff of plastic that was on the edge of these scales. It would probably wear off with time, but I want to do it now. Okay, so I got all those edges cleaned up, at least to the point where I'm liking them more. Looks pretty clean to me. Okay, so we are going to have to press these scales on evenly from both sides. Make sure they're both positioned correctly. Okay. Lay them on this cloth. Drape another cloth over them. Now I'm going to apply even pressure. This is a piece of wood. So I'm going to stand up. Just apply pressure evenly. Wow. Okay. Oh, they are partially on there. Interesting. I didn't hear or feel anything. Okay, so let's give it a little extra gusto to finish it off, hopefully. I was expecting a snap or something, but they do appear to be on there. Didn't pop into place. This is the only one that's not totally on there. Oh, there we go. Is that it? Huh. Very concerned that it didn't pop, but I guess it doesn't matter. Alright, let's chuck these other tools in here. And that's the end of it. This Victorinox Explorer is now upgraded with the plus scales. So I have tweezers, toothpick, this is a ballpoint pen, and it even has a pin slot so I can carry a straight pin in here. Boom. And then I also managed to find a little corkscrew. I think this is off-brand from eBay, but it fits in there all the same. So yeah, I have added a lot of functionality. The magnifying glass we will test at a different time. It works kind of. It's not very clear or clean, but it'll probably serve well enough for my purposes. Alright, so yeah, there you go. The only thing I might do beyond this is add a lanyard. So let me see if I have one. Okay, I found one. My last remaining little Tibetan pocket clip, I think. I know you guys have seen the like Exotac clip or whatever. This is like, I got 6 of them for like $8 or something years ago. Okay, how do I want this to sit in my pocket? Just like this. So there we go. Screw this part down. Boom. And there we are. This is my sort of new Victorinox Explorer. Thank you for joining me on the journey to restore this guy. It's looking a lot better. The tools are a lot more functional. The reamer works excellently, as we saw, because it cleaned up these plastic scales. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. So, if you enjoyed this video, please join me for other multi-tool videos, knives. I also do fountain pens and all that kind of thing. Lots of EDC gear. So if you like that, please join me again, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to get my notifications when I upload new stuff. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I've been Joe, you've been watching Ink&Iron, and hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.